Hello everyone, that's Denis Vasilev. Today I will also guide you through double half snatch. Let me demonstrate you first a few repetitions from the lateral and then anterior view, and then we'll go step by step through it. People who are familiar with Kettlebell Sport can see where it came from. It's a literal combination of a snatch movement and long cycle movement, and the way up going as a snatch, except it's a two kettlebells now, and way down goes as a long cycle. But well, the fact that these two movements combined of course affect each phase slightly, and in my channel you can see long cycle introduction, and well, that includes the jerk part and snatch introduction, and again phases very similar, but I think it's worth it to really give the double half snatch a little bit more extra attention and really specifically explain how it works. So first of all, the basics, the stance for double half snatch, and since we're working with two kettlebells, well, the classic stance will be two kettlebells wide, which is well, 420 millimeters. That's how wide we'll stand, and well, delta is acceptable, for someone to stand even wider or even a little bit narrower, but well, that will provide you just enough room between your knees to swing the bells. And then on the side view, I like snatch and long cycle because it's a kettlebell sport, so we're using lots of momentum. Here we want to keep kettlebells slightly ahead of us and roughly another kettlebell between the line of the toes and kettlebells you'll be lifting. So this way when you reach out for them, and we'll pick them up from the ground, so momentum will pull the kettlebells back, and that's exactly what we want, right? So that's how wide we stand. And the back swing idea will be similar to Kettlebell Sport cleans, where you keep the back straight. And what I like to do is, because, well, kettlebell slightly ahead, and before I will lift them up, well, the perfect alignment will be with the kettlebell on the edge of the bottom. And if I will pick it up right away, so it's kettlebell changing its position, and then you pull it, feels not quite a perfect pull. So that's why I like to incline it like this, and from this position picking them up. So with the back swing, we want to get kettlebells behind our legs and straighten our behind our legs and straighten the legs at the end of this back swing. Well, fair note that not all of the athletes are completely locking the knees at the end of the back swing, myself included, and I think it's acceptable delta, because personally, when I completely lock in my knees at the end of the back swing, it feels like it interrupts a little bit the flow of the movement. So I like to keep my legs slightly engaged, but we definitely want to have them straighter at the end of the back swing than in the middle portion of a swing. So the moment kettlebells passing your knees, legs bend, well, pretty hard, about like 45-degree to horizontal line, and then at the end of the swing, you're engaging your quads and you're straightening, moving towards straightening with your legs, and then arms full attached to your torso, back is straight. And once kettlebell reach the end of the swing, and yeah, don't shorten it. Have the back swing wide enough. You're basically following the bell there, so let it, and it depends on your body proportions and weight of kettlebells, how far exactly bell will go and how hard exactly you will lean forward, but you swing it and let it find its end. Don't stop it too early. Alright, so you swing it back, and then naturally the swing forward will start. And when the swing forward started, you also don't want to force it and shorten it. It's very important to understand that, you know, we have a swing part, and when the swing ends, then accelerating pull start. Alright, so once kettlebell start moving forward, it doesn't mean that it's time to force it and pull it. It's too early to pull it from here. It's too early to pull it from underneath. You want to swing it all the way to the front, where kettlebells will be ahead of you, and your shoulders will be behind your heels. So this pull phase, the accelerating pull phase, shouldn't be way too balanced. You shouldn't stand firm on your feet when you're pulling the bells. You're kind of in the falling position, and that's how you apply your body weight against the bells. Alright, so wide back swing, wide swing forward, and once swing forward ends, that's where the accelerating pull starts. So let me demonstrate you a couple of repetitions. Swing and pull. Let me give you a front view. Now, as you can see, I'm not practicing the twist of the thumbs on the back swing. I feel more powerful, and it honestly just simple to perform swing this way, which is not a mandatory, though I would say that majority of the long cyclists going with the thumb forward. I think it's have something to do with, you know, like squeezing arms between your legs, which is a little bit of a challenge, and I think it's easier for taller people with the longer limbs. That's more natural for them to, because when you twist the thumbs, well, arms going a little bit deeper between your legs, and it's more beneficial for tall and lean people. But middleweight, lightweight, I feel like it's a little bit too much of a work to squeezing them there, so I'm going with the thumb forward. Now that all looks like a clean, right? And difference start, well, in the power of your accelerating pull and your aim, where you're going with these bells. And when it's cleans, so you want to get bells just to the chest level, so you insert the hands and get into the rack fixation, which is not the case for double half snatch, because we need to pull them and catch them all the way over the head. And well, difference with the classic snatch, besides the fact that it's two kettlebells, is the absence of a twist. And well, that's a good and a bad thing. Good thing because it's a simple trajectory, just a one plane work, it's symmetrical. So it's two kettlebells, you swing them forward, you counterbalance straight back and pulling them. Whereas when it's a snatch with one kettlebell, so you swing and kettlebell goes slightly to the side, so it's a bit of a torso twist happening, the weight distribution change to opposite leg a bit more, so a little bit more of a complication and dance happening, but well, lighter weight. Because it's a two kettlebells, well, you need to apply much more force, right, to get them over the head. And if you look on double cleans, then the level of accelerating pull of the beginning of accelerating pull will be about on the pelvis level, whereas classic snatch will be close to the chest level. So much wider swing than counterbalance and catch at the top. Double half snatch, same story, is much taller swing, and it goes more natural. I'm not measuring the altitude, is the counterbalance game. And well, once, if your goal is to deliver kettlebells to a certain altitude and where is the chest level, well, then you apply, well, then you have a certain width of a swing and a certain amplitude of accelerating pull and counterbalance. And once your goal is way much higher, so that's why you want even more acceleration. So you swing even wider, even longer, counterbalance even harder, so you can apply all of your body weight against it, so you'll be able to catch kettlebells over the head. So let's do a couple reps of this double half snatch, and I'll make a good stop at the cage face with kettlebells over the head, or we can call it underscore. Now, catch and under squat is a very, very important phase, and it goes across all the kettlebell sport exercises. It's very important for jerk, it's very important for long cycle, well, even for snatch, important to know how to do it. And it's about timing. It should be a very fine, accurate timing of accelerating pull, under squat, meaning your heels landing on the ground and your arms straightening and catching the bells over the head. And it's quite lots of problems beginner lifters have with it, and even advanced and professional athletes, when it's a mismatch. So we ideally want several things happen simultaneously. So after accelerating pull is done, you're rushing under the bells, you're landing your heels, and then meaning you've reached the bottom of your under squat, not just your heels land on the ground and then you keep squatting. No, you should get all the way right away into the bottom of it. You get all the way right away into the bottom of it, and then your arms should be fully straightened and locked close to each other. Though speaking of the double half snatch, incline forward, so that will provide you catch in advance, so you'll be able to absorb the momentum of kettlebell. So you swing it, you pull it, and that's how you're catching it. So the moment your heels landed, your arms fully straightened, elbows locked. And then from this point, when it's done, this is the most complicated part. The rest is easy. You just straighten your legs, and well, these straight arms aligned to vertical position. And once you will nail it, it will solve lots of issues for you, because well, often that's arms are behind. An athlete pull and already on the bottom of the under squat, but arms work is not completed. Arms too wide or arms bent, even not symmetrical, and then you straighten your legs and you keep working on the upper body, which makes rep looks not clean. And well, speaking of competition situation, well, judges will not be happy about it, and it might them longer time to give you a rep this way. And well, for athlete, it's also lots of just unnecessary work and fatigue for upper body. So that's why it's really important to get the under squat done well. And oscillating pull is a hard face, but work is not done here yet. You pull it and then you under squat and catch the bells. It's a double shot. Pull it and go under it. Quick, it's still work. You need to flex your triceps. Arms shouldn't be relaxed. If arms will be relaxed, well, they'll never be straight and locked. Pull the bells, and once pull is done, squatting under it, straightening the arms. And the reason I'm so comfortable in this under squat and able to get this timing right, because I'm really doing it, I'm really practicing it. You see, I call it a semi-static phase, meaning you're not really stopped there when you're performing your workout or when you're competing, but it's possible to stop at this phase, and I think it's a very effective and useful drill to practice a complete stop in the under squat or before your main workout. And usually when you want to warm up for your main weights, you go through the lighter weights first. Well, if your goal is 24s, you can do some reps with 16s, even some reps with 20s, and then on the 24s. And if you'll do even 5 repetitions for each, well, that's already will be a 15 reps. If you'll do 2 sets for each weight, well, that will be 30 reps, and that's quite enough. Well, it shouldn't be too much, but this volume, every workout, with a complete stop in under squat will really helps you to nail the timing right. And you will see it for yourself, when you're not rushing, when you don't feel like, you need to go to the toe fixation and you're under pressure of like certain reps and time. Maybe first rep will be a little bit off, and then second rep with a complete stop and under squat will be better, and so far and so forth. So basically you need to face the enemy. And you don't want this under squat be your enemy, you want it to be your friend. So you need to know it better. So spend a little bit more time there. And again, that's not something you work during the set. It's like stop and under squat. Well, it's a good phase to do, but it's a little bit too much for your quads, doing it during the set. So invest into your technique and do this warm-up sets before your main performance. Well, I would suggest to count the breathing cycles. Not the time, but at least one good breath at the bottom. That already will be a good start. I would say that if you really want to nail it, do 2 breaths in the under squat. Well, you can go as far as 3, but not more. And let me demonstrate what I mean. That was 3. That was 2. That was 1. And also you will not only get the timing right, but you also get comfortable with the weight distribution, because another problem is that athlete might catch kettlebells maybe a little bit too early, which make him or her roll on the toes, can even step forward, compromise balance, or maybe catch them a little bit too far, where they feel like too much weight on the heels, they're about to like step back, or too much of like a torso work to absorb the weight and stop the momentum. So we should get the right timing and spot where we're catching the bell, so our balance will not be compromised, and it's slightly ahead of you. It shouldn't be too low. Again, will be because too much on your arm, on your arms. It shouldn't be too far. So it's a slight angle, roughly in front of your face. And again, when you're just passing by, when you never stop an under squat, well, you let momentum go into your toe fixation, and you never quite feel where the balance exactly, when you're in the bottom of the under squat. And you need to know that. You need to be like very certain, how the weight distributes over your foot. You know, it's like it's more on your heels, it's more on your toes. So you want to spend a little bit of time there and just get stable and make sure that you're not moving anywhere. You're not moving back, you're not moving forward and sides, you're very stable. And it might take you a couple breaths to find your perfect position. But once you find it, you always look for it. And you'll get better and better finding it. And eventually you'll be able to do it right away, and that will make your life so much easier. It will feel nice, you'll really like this phase, and top fixation will feel easy. By all means, nail your under squat. Make sure that your arms are straight. Well, and I'm absolutely certain that it's necessary phase for double half snatch. Once it's simply making your lifting a bit more efficient, because you don't need to pull the bell so high, you know, by squatting under it. So you're shortening every single pull, which is, you know, adding up through the set. You know, when it's 100 reps, well, you're saving, you know, few inches 100 times, and it's lots of savings. And then momentum also, when you do not under squat, so you wanted to stop, but bell's still going, and that's compromised balance. Whereas with the bent legs, you redirect the force and momentum of the bells into the floor and the lower body, and it's much easier to stabilize bell. So by all means, under squat must be used. Well, toe fixation phase, double half snatch, same rules as for jerk. So you lock in your knees, settling your shoulders, right, not shrugging up, locking your elbows. So space between wrists and elbows cannot be wider than between your shoulders. It can be a bit less, cannot be more, can be the same. Yeah, but you don't want them to fall apart. Then another interesting specific thing about the double half snatch is regarding the hand insertion. And I believe that it's two types of hand insertion, one for jerk and one for the snatch. And it's different because of well, character of the exercise. And when you do jerk, well, it's a pushing phase, meaning you're pushing the bell from the rack and you're dealing with the handle. So your base of your palm underneath the handle. And for this matter, the hand insertion works better with being slightly collapsed outside, so wrist out. And so for toe fixation, even kettlebell sit pretty deep and now, but wrist bent up. And when you do snatch, there is no pushing phase. It's just a swing all the way to the top, and you're hanging the bell on the base of your thumb like on the hook. So for this situation, actually the flat wrist is way more comfortable insertion, with a kind of pinky reaching to the ceiling. That's how hand insertion works, by flattening your wrist and going around the handle. And well, because there is no push phase, well, there's no need to unlock the wrist. So that's why we keep it flat for snatch. And double half snatch, it's in between, because we don't have a jerk phase on the way up, but then we have a drop phase into the rack where we need, you know, this wrist out position. So you really kind of go for toe fixation with the flat wrist, and then once you're done fixating and you're dropping, so you let the wrist out, so that pulls your elbows closer to each other and you drop into the rack. So take a look at my hands. Catch, flat wrists, toe fixation, and then drop into the rack. Double half snatch have twice as less rack fixations compared to long cycle. Long cycle have a rack on the way up and then rack on the way down. An athlete can choose which one he or she wants to use for rest, maybe both. In double half snatch is only one rep on the way down, and it's actually more common among lifters to rest in the rack on the way up before the jerk phase, and then especially if it's a long cycle, so it's a light top of a stomach on the way down and reclean. In double half snatch, and long cyclists, they're sometimes taking, for granted this, rack on the way down opportunity and not kind of paying enough attention to it because, they think that I will catch up my breast in the rack before the jerk, and it works, at least at part. But you cannot do double half snatch this way. You really want to let your lower back be comfortable on the way down. And it's not a good thing for long cyclists either when they do not bother to pull the shoulder blades apart and stay upright and do a great job keeping the elbows close to each other and narrow and land them well on the stomach like it's jerk only. So the whole weight will go into the pelvis and lower back will feel nice stretch, and then you bump the elbows from the pelvis into recline, and they might maintain the straight back and wrap the bells on the chest and bounce from the chest into recline, and even sometimes quite a vertical trajectory, which just makes it more exhausting phase. So you don't want to do it for sure in double half snatch. You will feel fatigue much sooner and even some discomfort in your lower back. So that's why you really want to pay attention, and you basically want to land elbows on the stomach like you do in the jerk only. Imagine there's no recline, so do your really best to aim elbows on the pelvis well, so the whole momentum will go there. So you unlock the elbows, pull them close to each other, land them well on the stomach, stretch your lower back, and then from here bump the elbows. Don't load your shoulders. Land the elbows well, drop them into recline. Let me show you the side. Now, through my experience of a double half snatch, notice the interesting thing. My pace strategy is different. When I perform long cycle, I like to spread my reps evenly through the minute, like as even as possible. Let's say if it's 10 repetitions a minute of long cycle, so I would like to do them 6 seconds per repetition. But in double half snatch, I don't feel it's comfortable to do this way because when I stop in the rack completely every single rep, the accelerating pull way feels really difficult. It feels really, it's really making a point that, that's a snatch all the way to overhead. Whereas when it's a drop without stop in the rack, you kind of still have a momentum of this fall from the top of the bells, and I think a greater speed of a swing and accelerating pull feels easier. So that's why in double half snatch, I'd like to go with no stop in the rack, for as long as I can comfortably. And with the light kettlebells, and for me 16 slides, so I will go the whole minute without stopping the rack, and I just might take extra breaths at the toe fixation, maybe each 15 seconds, just one extra breath at the top, and that will be enough. But then as heavy, and then at the end of the minute, I will stop in the rack to take a few breaths to start a new minute. But then as heavy bells get, as more breaks in the rack I need, but still, like let's say with the 20s, I will go shots of 30 seconds. So I will do, first 30 seconds of work, and reps will be done probably by 25 seconds, and then I'll have a few seconds in the rack. And then another shot of about 25 seconds of work, and then a few seconds in the rack. And like when I'm getting to 28 kilogram kettlebells, so I do 4 shots per minute, and it's usually, and shots getting smaller also with let's say 20s, that will be like shots of maybe 8 reps, but then by the time I get to 28, it's shots of like 2-3 reps, and then rest in the rack, and then 2 reps, 2-3 reps, and then rest in the rack. So just something to share with you guys in terms of a strategy, of a performance of a double half snatch. Well, let's have a demonstrate maybe about like a 10 reps portion with 2 shots of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One of the last things to talk about will be the overlap. And in my experience, overlapping kettlebells for long cycle and for jerk, but I'm not using my fingers. I'm not doing a handle lock for long cycle, but I'm using it for jerk. When it comes to double half snatch, well, and that's just a matter of your stability and comfort in the rack. You know, it's more precise, you know, movements you're having, well, as less additional locks you need. And, you know, excellence when athlete can stabilize 2 kettlebells in the rack without even them touching each other, which is really hard. And then it's a little bit easier when you just connect the handles, and then it's even more stable when one handle overlap on another. Well, and then even bulletproof when you grab it with your hand. Right, so that's a perfectly symmetrical stance like this, but you know, especially under fatigue, you know, it's getting harder to stop them from moving. Well, so when they're touching, it's a bit better, but still, you know, they're not really attached to each other. Overlapping of handles, that's a great one, and majority of lifters can go like this, but then, you know, if you're really having troubles and kettlebell's real heavy, well, you might grab the handle as well. And in double half snatch with the light kettlebells, I feel pretty comfortable. I go long cycle way without fingers. When bell's getting heavier, I might use a lock to make sure that bell's not going anywhere and will not slide off the rack fixation. But use it if only necessary. The lock, you know, don't overuse it, because if you'll be using it too much and too hard, well, you will just exhaust your hands and forearms. You know, will be too early for fatigue in this muscles, which you don't want to happen, because, well, then you will not be able to swing and pull the bells over the head. You want your forearms being in a good state. So that was a double half snatch introduction. I hope that was useful. And if you have any questions, please write some comments or reach out to me directly. We'll be happy to chat with you. But wishing you all the best and good luck.